So y'all, I just want to say this real quick before we get started. The deep is nasty. The deep is the deep is so nasty. So we start out this episode just like how I thought we would, honestly. Vought responding to all the accusations that Starlight then, handed out to their asses. Ashley is here fulfilling her role as the voice box, the voice piece of Vought. And she said, hey, guess what? Y'all need to look over here. She's over here trying to accuse us of shit, but who's she hanging with? So that was, I don't know what's about to be in store for Miss Mom. It's like, I really don't. Huey goes to visit this guy. Y'all already know who he is. I ain't gonna explain the shit again. Essentially, what this guy tells Huey, which is something that I'm just like, bitch, you should already know that shit, girl. Like, Huey, what are you talking about? Are you still blind? After how many seasons are you still blind to who these people are? But this guy essentially tells Huey, like, Soldier Boy didn't storm shit. He came there, how many days afterwards just to do a Photoshop. He ain't really about shit. He crazy as fuck. And Huey's still over here like, well, no, he has to be a hero. Wasn't he a hero? Wasn't he a hero? And it's just like, Huey, you're you're just so stupid. You're so stupid. After all the shit that you done went through. Anyway, after this whole sex scene and all this shit, essentially, they're trying to find Mindstorm. They come up with this idea to check pharmacies. That's really all you need to know from this scene. Like that's it. And that Soldier Boy is literally a mess. He said, I guess he's just like, girl, this weed is good. And I'm gonna need more of it. And they're like, okay. Oh my God, they got Maeve, girl. Like they got Maeve. They got my sis Maeve, my good sis, my sis. And Maeve is just like, Homelander's obviously fucking freaking out because of Soldier Boy. Like he's obviously freaking out. Maeve can see right through that shit. So Homelander's like, girl, where are they at? Where is Soldier Boy? Where is the Butcher? Where, like, he got powers now, girl. Like, I'm shook. What the fuck are we gonna do? And Maeve is just like, honestly, girl, I don't really care. I'm ready for all this shit to be over with. And you're mad, you're pissed. I can understand. But you need to be a soup. It's like, you, without your powers, without that shit, without your strength, you have no personality. You don't know who you are, and maybe it's just like, I'm done with this shit. And Homelander's like, that's really cute for you. But then Maeve asked the question that we're all fucking wondering, like, why in the hell would you keep her alive? Like, you literally lasered and bulldozed everybody else, So Maeve asked the same question we're wondering, why are you keeping me? Why are you letting me live? And Homelander's like, there's a difference between keeping you alive and letting you live. He says he wants to get her eggs, honey. He already mentioned how perfect their kids would have been together if they stayed together. And remember, during this scene when he and Maeve were talking, he was just like, yeah, if we actually had stayed together and had kids, our kids would have been stronger than Ryan. And it's just like, okay. Okay. But yeah, this entire scene, Maeve was just like, I keep calling him Soldier Boy. Homelander was just like, basically, all that shit can happen to us. Soldier Boy, Butcher, all them hoes can decapitate our asses. And Maeve ends the scene like, all right, but yeah, you're trying to do all this grandstanding, but this is one of the first time I've seen you scared. And basically, I'm savoring that shit. Huey and Butcher are talking over here, right? And they're like, yo. They're like, yo, this motherfucker's crazy. And I already told y'all that when it was the last episode. I think they were just in a hotel room trying to figure out where to go for Herogasm and defeat the TNT twins. Like, I already knew from there. I was like, this nigga's like, we already knew, period. But I was like, this is gonna get really bad. But this is the moment where Butcher and Huey start to realize like what exactly they signed up for, right? Soldier Boy's literally like suffering from PTSD. Okay. His powers will go off at any fucking second if you hear a Russian song and dance. Hear a fucking Russian music video or some shit, bitch. He's gonna blow up the entire fucking block, And Huey's like, let me get this straight. And he really wanted to talk. He's like, let me get this straight. He got PTSD and he's self-medicating and dealing with this shit. And Butcher's like, yeah, girl, which one of these crazy ass motherfuckers were really self-medicating and hands him the motherfucking syringe? It's like, yeah, girl, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. So we got this abandoned like pizza shop thing, I guess, right? Yeah, pizza restaurant. And Black Noir is just camping out there, hiding out. That's what it seems like to me. And these cartoons on the wall that I guess have been with him since 7th grade. But Noir is like terrified. Absolutely just terrified. That's the whole entire point of this cartoon. Like, they obviously keep him company while he's, underneath this mask and no one knows him and blah, blah, blah. He don't even talk. Like, obviously they keep him company in the streets of his mind, and they're just like, you have to face Soulja Boy, bitch. He was scared the shit out of me too. What, are you serious? And bitch, what's even scarier to me is that Soulja Boy is over here hearing shit. And the boys are like, are you serious? It's a mess. Soulja Boy tells them, like, with Mindstorm, you can't make eye contact with him. He don't tell them what the tea is. But he's just like, don't make no eye contact. It's like, we got brains leaking out of ears and shit. It's just a mess. Soulja Boy done set out the whole fucking, some minefield, I guess, Mindstorm got to protect his ass. Bitch, and he comes out of nowhere, girl. And the first one he sticks onto is Butcher. And so, I mean, I thought this was a really cool way for us to get his backstory, I already knew that some kind of crazy ass abuse happened for Butcher to have this kind of personality. I already knew that his childhood was an absolute mess. So we're gonna get into that in the next part of the video. But I guess here, Soulja Boy, because Mindstorm trapped Butcher in this little spell or whatever the fuck he got going on. Huey's like, okay, I understand that you want to kill him, but can we please just get to him first so that he can undo what he did to Butcher, and then you can do whatever you want with him. I don't care what happens. Let me just have at him. And Soulja Boy's like, yeah, not gonna happen. Soulja Boy's like, I'm not doing that stupid shit. But I mean, I'll still help you kill Homelander, but unless you want to end up like him, that's it. While Butcher is trapped in his own mind, we learned that his father was a fucking asshole, which, I mean, and Butcher did whatever he had to do in order to protect his younger brother Lenny from his father. And I also love how they tied the violent tendencies of his father to Butcher. You know what I mean? It's like, things are starting to make some sense. Frenchie and Emma over here talking, and they're commenting about how everybody's fucked up. Huey high as fuck. Em don't know what's going on with his motherfucking daughter and family. It's just everybody fucked up. We got oh my gosh, Kimiko essentially tells Bright. I was about to call her Nightlight. Yes, Kimiko essentially tells High Beams over here that she wants her fucking powers back, and Annie's just like, Annie has her doubts, but Kimiko's like, okay, this is my choice. Like, she had this whole speech ready to go, written on her phone, to show her, but she's like, bitch, I'm gonna go get my shit back. And I was like, yes, bitch, please get your powers back. Okay, so here is where they start arguing, Huey and Soulja Boy. Well, it's not even an argument. Huey really tries to buck up, and it's like, sweetie, like I said before, sweetie, you have teleportation powers. You don't have super strength. Maybe you have enhanced durability. Obviously you do, because if Soulja Boy slapped the shit at you, maybe your jaw would have fallen off if you ain't had no compound V, right? But it's just like, I don't understand why you bucking up at Soulja Boy if you don't have no plan to beat his ass. If you don't have no plan, I'm not finna get slapped by Soulja. I'm not finna open my mouth, cause he was just like, oh well, you faked it. You faked all that Normandy shit. You didn't do shit. You ain't really about shit. And it's just like, he don't care. He slapped the shit out you. And bitch, if I have teleportation powers, you're not gonna slap me. What? If I have, Huey, you sound stupid as fuck. If I have teleportation powers, nobody's going to be able to slap the shit out of me. I'm sorry. What are you talking about? So whatever. The Deep, like I said before, he's fucking nasty. He essentially says, hey bitch, me and Ursula, we go back for we've been friends for a long time. Me and Ursula, we do our thing and we do our thing. We want you to do our thing with us as well. And it's just nasty. It's just nasty. She's just like, I can't do this anymore. I propped you up. I let go of my tenure. I did all this, and it's just like, ma'am, yes, he's fucking disgusting. He's nasty, but you saw what he did to Starlight. You should know what he did to Starlight. You know the type of person that he is. And now you want to start complaining because an octopus touched your thigh? It's like, that's the same. Oh girl, I'm about to get. But that's the same thing that happened with all these fucking Trump aides and Trump ex-staffs coming out here talking about, oh my God, yeah, he was so crazy. He was so wild and crazy. He threw plates at staff. He was trying to choke out the driver. It's like, y'all knew that when he was campaigning. Y'all knew that when he was running for president. Y'all knew that, and y'all still went out. Yeah, so that's why I don't feel sorry. Some of these characters, I don't feel sorry for their asses. Like, girl, you knew this shit. He's crazy as fuck. The Deep is disgusting. I don't care what y'all said. The Deep is disgusting, and it's just like, oh my God, this shit is like. I was like, does he really have an octopus between his legs right now? Like, first of all, why would you be in a bed with somebody? Why would you even be in a bed with somebody who is doing that shit? The girl, everybody involved nasty. So I guess Butcher was caught selling weed or some shit, and his principal or headmaster, whatever, said, hey girl, I gotta tell your father, you already know how he gets, but it's just like, I can't. The principal's almost like, I don't have no other choice. Like, if I keep this, I'm gonna lose my job. Like, he's like, bitch, I have to tell your father. I have to tell, and he sound like he's scared. You know, like, child, Butcher was not having none of that shit, bitch. He got up and said, hey, guess what? I'm going to bang that shit out your face. I'm gonna bang that idea out your face. I'm gonna bang that desire to tell my father about this shit out your skull. All right. And then his little brother comes up and like tries to stop him, but Butcher ends up smacking the shit out of him too. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. It's just wild how these, like, the cycles of abuse, they start, and how, like, and what it can lead up to. Like, now he's hitting his fucking brother, you know? But the most interesting part of all of this to me is how his father, like, bought them fucking beers. And not only are they even fucking 16 yet? That's the first thing. But the conversation that happens, it's almost like, yeah, I'm glad you took that fucking stapler and bashed the shit out your principal. Yeah, he deserved that shit. Motherfuckers deserve to get smacked up in this world. And it's just like, wow. So not only are you getting abused, but your reaction to it, the way that you cope with it, your violence is being empowered. So it's just like a vicious cycle of violence and craziness that feeds itself. I love this. I love how they switched back to the older version of the father in, you know, IRL. We could see why he has so much resentment against his father. And it's just like, oh my goodness. But like I said, the boys are kind of empowered or encouraged to be violent, to continue to solve their problems that way. If somebody pissed you off, just punch them in the fucking face, knock their teeth out. Like, bitch, if you go through life like that, bitch, it's only like, it's no telling the type of pain not only that you're going to experience, but that you're going to cause other people. You know, and Butcher's over here talking about, oh, don't listen to him. But now that I watched the entire episode, I roll my eyes at that scene. But okay, we're going to continue moving. Soldier Boy and Huey find this nun and priest on the street or some shit. And out of nowhere, Soldier Boy just shoots the priest. I was like, yo, what the fuck? But he ends up saying like, oh no, this is Mindstorm's MO. He definitely brainwashed them, and she's gonna pounce on us next. And Huey's like, no, but they're a person. I'm thinking this motherfucker paranoid too. I'm thinking Soldier Boy paranoid as fuck too. And he was like, no, but this is a person. This is a human. We can't do this to her. Bitch, she started jumping on She started jumping on his neck like she was finna give him a hickey, bitch. She was finna give his ass a hickey, a permanent hickey. Do you hear what I'm saying? One that's, more permanent than a fucking tattoo, bitch. Like, you were about to be out of here. And he couldn't do shit but wait until Soldier Boy could shoot this motherfucker. It was just, Mindstorm is on to their ass. Homelander's over here. Instead of doing what he needs to do, he's over here talking about Starlight. He's obviously pressed about that shit. He's trying to say, well, girl, she's doing the trafficking. I don't know what she's talking about. And Vicky Newman sees that. Well, first of all, he sees Soldier Boy, but it's obviously a hallucination. Obviously, he's seeing shit, bitch. It seemed like he was about to light everybody's ass up. He had to turn them lasers off. But he's obviously getting overwhelmed. He's obviously feeling the pressure. And so instead of going to talk to a therapist like he need to do, he goes to a goddamn cow. He goes to a cow. And I was like, yo, he's not about to do it. Is he really about to do what I think he's about to do? And that's exactly what the fuck he did. I was like, okay. I was like, okay. Oh, no, okay. All right. Everything's fine. It's totally fine. And that's the same thing Vicky said. Yeah, it's fine. You must have missed breakfast today or something. You okay? Vicky starts to really tear his ass a new one. Like, bitch, you have to get your shit together because everybody can see the shit. Everybody knows it. It's just like, it's Soldier Boy. You need to take control of the situation. And he was like, keep talking, baby. And he was like, yeah, keep talking, baby. Anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to say? And she was just like, you need me. Da, da, da. She gives him this shit. But she was just like, essentially, you need someone you could trust, and that person is me. I gave up Stan Edgar for your ass. Like, I sacrificed a lot, and I can be of use to you. So I don't know, Miss Vicky the lapdog. No shade, but Miss Vicky the lap the bitch. This scene with A-Train girl. Ashley was like, oh my god, so you're up. That's so great that you're awake. That's so great. So let me tell you what happened. So while you were there, Soldier Boy really tried to kill Blue Hawk. You tried to save his life, but somehow you couldn't do it. So what happened now is that you got his heart inside of you, bitch. We took your heart out, gave you his heart. Now you won't. Now you be able to run everywhere. We got a new movie coming up with you. You got to shit talk Starlight. You got to do all type of shit. A-Train's try to resist the shit. Like, no, I ain't doing that shit. Nah, I'm not doing that shit. I don't feel like doing that. Because the movie that she was suggested was just like, or the movie that they're gonna do with him is just like how he apparently grew up on a rough side of town and had to sling coke to pay for shit. And A-Train was like, that's definitely not how it happened. And Ashley was like, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Ashley essentially told him, you are literally only a heart. You're a beating heart that we're going to put ads on. They gave his ass open heart. They took it. They literally replaced his heart. Yeah, they own his ass for life. Now it's just like I don't know. You're a soup at the end of the day, so you could just run really fast into a bunch of people and solve your problems. But I feel like that will make a messy situation even more messy. I can't wait to see what happens with that. I think that Frenchie and MM were over here talking about some fucking nerve toxin, nerve vapor shit that they plan on using against Soldier Boy, I think. But the real tea is that Mother's Milk ends up seeing that his daughter is at a Homelander convention or some shit, watching Homelander speak, and obviously we already know who brought her there. So this scene here is when Kimiko tells Frenchie that she wants her powers back, and Frenchie's like, oh my god, no. But Kimiko's like, bitch, first of all, I want it. It's my choice. I thought it was, the source of my issues, my problems, or whatever, like my powers were, but it's just like, I need to be able to protect my family. That's what she says. And Frenchie understands. I understand that shit too. And like I said, I've been wanting her to get her powers back, so I'm not mad about it. And speaking of that, Annie's over here running around trying to get Compound B, but then she ends up seeing some research that's being done here. Let me see what it say. I mean, it don't say nothing but death, seizures, vegetative state. I guess it's for the temp V. These motherfuckers saying atrophy of the cortex. What else they saying? What's it say? Seizures at like every 1 to 2 hours is what they're saying, but they say lethal after 3 to 5 doses. And so, I mean, that's completely wild. And we check in on that later, but this is the moment where we start to see what happened with Vought and how they were like, yo, we got a replacement for Soldier Boy. We already know that y'all hate his ass anyway, so why don't y'all take care of it? And Stan Edgar talking to Black Noir. So they all try to go after his ass. They really did. But Soldier Boy knocks the shit out of Black Noir and melts half his fucking face. And so, you know, we can obviously draw conclusions as to why he would be fucking terrified of Soldier Boy. This scene here was really sad because at the end of it, MM's daughter ends up seeing the violence. But I mean, it's really hard for me to blame MM, even though I feel like all of their asses are shitty. I don't know. Should I say, yeah, they're shitty parents? A lot of, I don't know. They got shitty habits when it comes to parenting. Because the mother's like, oh my gosh, I did not know that you had my daughter at a Homelander convention or whatever the fuck. You're taking her to see Homelander? I'm like, how you don't know that? How you don't know that? How you don't know that she's sitting in front of the TV watching Homelander every fucking day? How you don't know that that's what he has her ass doing? And MM the same way too. I mean, even though he did say somebody's got to be, it was kind of a drag, and I mean, it was completely unnecessary. But I mean, it still had a little bit of truth to it. I mean, he got his ass punched, right? But it's just, it was just bad. It was just bad. And this scene here with Starlight talking to Homelander, and he was just like, you need to come and recant this shit. I already told you what's gonna happen to Huey if you try me like this. And Miss Mamas is like, you know what? I don't care. Do your worst. It's fine. And I was like, what plan does she got? Because he's right, bitch. He's one moment away from lasering your scalp open. So what plan do she got? And then when she whipped out that phone talking about, oh yeah, thanks for saying all that shit in front of my 190 something million followers. Thanks so much. Bitch, Homelander's like, oh, he starts to malfunction, bitch. You can see in his face, like, oh, don't say that. Why are you recording us while we're rehearsing lines and shit? It's like, okay, girl. Now, but at the same time, she was bluffing, right? Right? Like, Starlight was bluffing. She wasn't on live. Now, I'm just like, why is she walking? I don't understand, bitch. You bitches ain't come up with no disguise or nothing. Why you walking all up in Vought just like you ain't light their ass on fire like a day ago? Just walking with no disguise, just that blonde hair just bouncing around. You know, if you see Homelander, it's just nothing to see here. No, bitch. Like, I would have been incognito, ho. I'm just not doing it. So when Soldier Boy and Huey finally find Mindstorm or whatever again, Huey just teleports his ass and steals him, hoping that he will be, you know, gracious enough to let Butcher out of this shit. And in Butcher's mind, we see what ends up happening, right? Because Butcher ended up leaving his brother to just be there, you know, with his father. His brother decided to take his own life. That shit was crazy. And the amount of guilt and shit that Butcher has because of that shit, you could see it when he woke up. He was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. So like I said, Mindstorm ends up waking him up. And he was like, okay, now I'm gonna take you where you need to go, because we agreed on that. Bitch, Soldier Boy gonna come out of nowhere and literally slice that motherfucker up. I said, and what happens is he ends up asking Mindstorm, whatever, like, why did Vought okay this? You already know that y'all came after me. It was Black Noir's idea, but that's like, why would Vought okay this? And he tells us something that I guess we find out later. He's just like, no, it's fucking possible. It's just, so at the end, first of all, this is why I can't stand fucking Butcher, because I really keep calling her Bright Light or Nightlight. Bitch, Starlight ends up telling him the information that she found out while trying to get the Compound B, and he was just like, okay, he was like, yeah, I'm going to tell him. I'm going to tell Huey that if we keep doing this shit, our brain's going to turn into mush and we're going to die. And that's exactly what he ends up not doing. He tells Huey like, oh my gosh, guess what? We're going to get some more. Hey, you want some more Compound V? And it's just like, I'm wondering what his fucking logic is. Is it that, oh, well, we've taken more than 5 doses, so we're going to die anyway, and we might as well light it up and finish the job? Or, like, you know what I mean? Because, like, you're going through all this, you know, you're reliving this trauma about what happened with your brother and the cycles of abuse and all this shit. Like, you're reliving all this stuff, and it doesn't even seem like you're trying to act in a different way that would avoid some of the same kinds of outcomes that you already experienced. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just like, you don't even want to warn Huey and tell him, and let him make the decision so that he at least he knows. But Starlight ends up saying, I'm gonna go save Huey because obviously I can't trust Butcher to do that shit. And ends up giving Kimiko the compound V. I'm so happy that she has her powers now. And this was the gag of the moment. This was the gag of the episode. Soldier Boy ends up calling Homelander saying, hey, guess what? You my motherfucking son, ho. Like he was rapping a Nicki Minaj motherfucking verse, bitch. All these bitches are my motherfucking son. Bitch. Soldier Boy said, hey, girl, Vought didn't even have, I don't know why Vought did all that shit to get rid of me. I would have just let you, I would have let you have it. You're my son. I was like, what is going on now? I don't know if I should have seen that coming because it only makes sense, but it's going to make the Ryan and Homelander and Soldier Boy dynamic that much more interesting. Damn, Ryan's grandfather is Soldier Boy, girl. They out here making people, cloning people. Vaught's so nasty. I'm ready for shit to go off the deep end again. Like, I cannot wait for the next episode. But yeah, like I said, please keep the deep out my face. With his fish fucking ass. Okay. On that note, love y'all. And I will catch y'all later.